I went to my high school coach just venting to him in his office one day, and he's listening to me, and he's like, look, he's like, sometimes you got to realize, sometimes in your life, that ship that you're waiting for, it's not going to come into port. He says, you got two options when that happens. You can sit there on the deck and you can complain about it, or you can start swimming out to where you want to go. He says, you find a different way to get to where you want to go. He says, swallow your pride, let's get it done. So Arizona State was my different route. Arizona State was in my hometown, and I remember I called the coaches there. I said, hey, coach, I'd love the opportunity to compete for you. Coach said, yeah, we'd love to have you, but we have a couple guys in your weight class already. He says, one of them is on a partial scholarship, so we can offer you a walk-on position. Your grades look pretty good. We can get you an academic scholarship, but there's no wrestling scholarship money here for you. He said, and if you want to stay on the team, you have to wrestle them and you have to beat them. They said, that's the only opportunity we got right now. And I learned something through that. It's like sometimes the opportunities that we want are not necessarily the opportunities we get, but it's still a blessing. That opportunity, still got to make the most of it. So I said, all right, coach, tell me what day you need me. I'll be ready to go. I'll be ready to wrestle. And so we set it up. I went out, ended up beating both the guys in my weight class. So I was a starter, but I was a walk-on. So no wrestling scholarship. The way I covered the rest of my tuition and cost of living for 2 years, I had a night job. So go to school full-time, I'd wrestle. My night job was at our local airport, Sky Harbor Airport. So I'd be in there at about 10:30 at night in these huge hangars, washing and waxing airplanes, vacuuming out, picking up trash in 2 years. And I remember there were nights, just sitting there, my back sore from practice, and I'm stressing about an exam I got coming up, and I'm like, man, is this worth it? Am I ever going to reach the end, the goal, that finish line? And there's a quote that I've always loved. It's one of my favorites. It said, the prize is in direct proportion to the price. The greater the reward you seek, the greater the effort needs to be to achieve it. And when I'm in that hangar at night, I was just thinking, I'm paying the price right now. How good is it going to feel to prove those coaches wrong, to get that championship, to be on that podium? Like, this is part of it. This is the grind. And that's a phrase we'd always say in wrestling. We say, you grind now, you shine later.